Alright, good morning everybody. It's your boy Akeem and welcome to this vlog. Here to continue with my projections for each position for the 2015 fantasy football season. Now I know a lot of people are actually having their drafts this week, including myself. A lot of people decided to have their drafts late in the season so we could have more time to evaluate players during preseason. Now for this particular blog, I'm here to give you my top 20 defenses, and I will give you the full blog from numbers 20 through number 1 to number 1. Now I'm going to start things off with at number 20, my San Francisco 49ers. Now last season they finished off 10th overall, but we lost a lot of key players defensively, including Chris Borland, the linebacker, as well as his fellow teammate and Patrick Willis. They both retired. They no longer have Ray McDonald in the defensive line, as well as Justin Smith, but we still have Navarro Bowman and a young secondary, including draftee they picked up in the second round this year's draft, and Christy Tort, as well as they do have Jimmy Ward and Eric Reed still on the team, so they still have a young secondary who's looking forward to stepping it up this season. And number 19, I'm going to have to go with the Carolina Panthers. They definitely have a great linebacking core with Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis, and they have a key addition in Shaq Thompson. Now with the loss of Greg Hardy, who actually was a big set loss for last season for their team, they're gonna have to have a pass rusher who needs to step it up this year. At number 18, I'm gonna have to actually go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now they don't really have a good pass rushing attack from what they have had their premier pass rushers in earlier in the decade. So, but they did pick up Bud Dupree out of Kentucky, and hopefully he can turn things around. At number 17, I have to go with the Indianapolis Colts. Now, with the return of Robert Matthews, who was out due to suspension last season, and they do have Trent Cole, a good seasoned vet, I think they could definitely have good pass rushers to get to the quarterback and to actually have at least 115 points come towards the end of the season. At number 16, I'm going to have to go with the Cleveland Browns. Now, last season they had a lot of interceptions, but they're going to have a good pass rushing attack because the interceptions might not come as much this season, but they do have Deshaun Gibson and Joe Hayden, who are good players who definitely could be good ball hogs and get some interceptions. At number 15, I'm about to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I did like the signing of Justin Houston. He deserved that $110 million contract. But we do have the return of Eric Berry for the secondary, and that will definitely help out the secondary. Hopefully, he can help that defense become one of the top defenses, back to becoming the top defenses in the National Football League. At number 14, I'm going to go with the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, yes, last season was a shock for me. They actually finished second overall in points with 153 points. But that is mainly due to the fact they had a lot of interception returns for touchdowns and great plays in special teams. I don't really see that happening again, but yes, I do see them having at least 110 points, and that's why I actually had to bump it back to number 14. At number 13, I'm going to have to go with the Green Bay Packers. 123 points last season, and they have some great veterans and good young players on the defensive end, on the defensive side, with Clay Matthews and Julius Peppers at the ends, and they have Ha Clinton Dix, a good young player, entering his second season in the secondary. At number 12, I'm going to have to go with the Minnesota Vikings. Now, with their head coach Mike Zimmerman, who was entering his first season last year, he actually turned the worst fantasy football defense to the 11th best fantasy football defense in 2014. Great turnaround, and that's why I have him at number 12. At number 11, I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals. Now, this team did a great job allowing 18.7 points per game due to the strong play in the secondary. But they struggle as far as their pass rushers, and they do have Calais Campbell, who's a good player and the anchor of that defensive line. But they're going to have some good pass rushers to get to the quarterback and give you some more fantasy points. At number 10, cracking the top 10, I'm going to have to go with the New England Patriots. Now, I actually finished with 131 points last season, tied 6th, but they lost two key players defensively, and Vince Wilfork in that defensive line, and cornerback Darrelle Revis are no longer with the team. At number 9, I'm going to have to go with the Detroit Lions. Now, they had a big loss in Ndamukong Suh, but they did pick up in a trade and a Haloti Ngata from the Baltimore Ravens, which is going to be interesting because I do see Ngata as a downgrade a little bit, but he is a smart, seasoned vet. And please look out for Ziggy Ansah. I think he is a rising star to become a good pass rusher in the league. At number 8, I'm going to have to go with the New York Jets. And Todd Bowles is now the new head coach of this team, and they had some key additions. They picked up Darrelle Revis as well as Antonio Cromartie in the secondary to have a good, strong secondary, and they have an amazing front seven and a defensive line with Muhammad Wilkerson and Sheldon Richardson. And let's not forget their 6th overall pick in Leonard Williams out of USC. I think they can have a dominant defense this season. At number 7, I'm going to go with the Miami Dolphins. Now, Oliver Vernon and Cameron Wake combined for 18 sacks last season, and I think that number could definitely go up, especially with the addition of Ndamukong Suh coming out of Detroit. That sack number would definitely go up for both Vernon and Wake this season. At number 6, I'm going to have to go with the Denver Broncos. Now, I did like with the addition of Shane Ray, what could be a steal in this year's draft, and I believe he was the 2nd round pick to work in the rotation as far as the lineup and the pass rushers with DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller, good veterans who can teach Ray how to be a good pass rusher at the next level. At number 5, I'm going to go with the St. Louis Rams. Now, they had 123 points last season, but they do have the return of Robert Quinn, who's a great pass rusher, and Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, in Aaron Donald, who had a great rookie season. At number 4, a solid defense, the Baltimore Ravens. You have to give them a lot of credit. They still rebuild and developing great defenses, even they no longer have Ed Reed nor Ray Lewis. But they do have 2 great pass rushers in Elvis Dumervil and Terrell Suggs, who have combined for 29 sacks last season, and 2 good talented players at linebacker with C.J. Mosley, who was actually 2nd in Defensive Rookie of the Year honors last season, and Darrell Smith, who had over 100 tackles last year. At number 3, I'm going to have to go with the Houston Texans. They finished 4th overall with 147 points. Now, hopefully, Jadeveon Clowney will be a great sophomore this year. He will be back from injuries last season, and I think he could definitely be that premier pass rusher opposite of Defensive Player of the Year, J.J. Watt. They're definitely going to be great monsters in the defensive line if Jadeveon Clowney lives up to the hype. At number 2, I'm going to have to go with the Buffalo Bills, who actually finished 1st last season with 170 points. They have Robert Hughes, Marcel Darius, and Mario Williams, who all 3 of these players combined for 34 sacks last season. Now, their secondary can definitely use some work, but they still have 3 great pass rushers who could get to the quarterback. And at number 1, I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks, who finished 3rd overall. Now, in the first 6 games to start off the season, the defense struggled a lot, allowing 23.5 points per game, but then finishing off the remainder of the season averaging just under 12 points per game. And they have the best secondary in the National Football League, led with Cam Chancellor, as well as Earl Thomas and Richard Sherman, an excellent secondary who could definitely beat some ball hogs and even cause a couple of forced fumbles with big hits from Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas. They definitely have a good dominant secondary and a great defense overall, who deserves the number 1 overall projection of this season. Now, the next time I'm going to catch you guys will be in just a couple of minutes. The next set of blogs I'm going to talk about are my top 20 kickers. Thank you for watching this vlog. I'm your man, Akeem McCall. Be easy.